Hey everybody, welcome to Module 1 Wealth and Regulation Foundation. You're in the right place. If you're a healthcare worker struggling, my name is Jessie. I'm your holistic nurse coach and wealth mentor. And today we're setting the tone for everything you'll build inside this community. This is where your transformation begins, and not with spreadsheets, not with budgeting apps, but with your nervous system and your identity and the way you move through your day as a high performing healthcare professional. The system is different. It's not anything that you've seen or heard of before. Um, I have developed this as something because it's something I struggled with personally. And so I feel like there needs to be something for not only healthcare professionals, but anyone struggling with emotional spending that could benefit from a structured community like this. So you're in the right place, and I hope you enjoy what we have to offer here. So, looking forward to what we have. This community was built for healthcare workers primarily who want stability in their life and their finances, their energy, and their identity. Because we've been conditioned to push through everything: stress, exhaustion, overwork, and survival mode. But no one taught us regulation, right? Or how to build wealth for a calm, grounded center. But this is where that changes. I have struggled with this throughout my nursing career. I'm a 20-year nurse, and I have just recently finally started to develop my own structure and discipline for setting financial goals and developing my financial literacy. And so I want to share that with people that may have not known about it. Like, I was never taught, my parents never taught me this, and they're not here anymore, but this is not something that they mirrored or showed in their financial life. So I'm learning this first time, first generation. I'm breaking generational curses. I am creating a legacy for my family. And I think this is important for anyone else who feels like they're the first generation, first people in their family that may have been given this opportunity to make and create a legacy and create wealth and keep their wealth and grow their wealth. So that's what we're here to do. Um, we are we're not gonna normalize burnout. We're not gonna act like that is normal. This is a shame-free zone, and we're gonna try to break those habits and what we've been conditioned to just work and spend and consume. Instead of consuming, let's create. Let's start creating our legacy, right? All right, so next we have what I promise you throughout this module. You're going to understand why regulation is the foundation of wealth. You're going to see how stress, fatigue, and emotional patterns directly influence your money decisions. I know they've influenced mine personally. You're going to learn the Trinity framework: mind, money, and identity, and why all three must work together to build stable long term wealth. And most importantly, you're going to begin rebuilding your internal safety so your external world can finally match your potential. So, this is what you have to look forward to. I'm going to be doing a lot of different modules and talking points on things that I think would be beneficial to anyone who has been struggling with I call it emotional spending, but just like lack of structure and discipline in their um, regulatory nervous system and as well as financial life. So the Trinity framework here is the backbone of everything we do, basically. It's mind, clarity, emotional grounding, and self trust. Your money is a structure, planning, and predictable systems. Identity is becoming the person who holds wealth with ease. When these three are aligned, your decisions become regulated, sustainable, and strategic. wealth becomes a natural extension of who you are. So once I started trusting myself, getting more grounded in my day to day, creating clarity and setting my intention, journaling, and just planning out my budget and being more structured and disciplined about my finances, this has really opened my eyes and to how much there was just leaking out here and there for all these little things. And it, as nurses, it's like, oh, okay, in 2 more weeks we're gonna get another check, and or I'll just work a bonus to pay for that extra thing. So this was for healthcare workers, I feel like something important that could benefit you, if that's something that you feel that you also struggle with, because it helped me. And regulation matters for high earners because it's not something, high earning does not automatically equal high stability. It wasn't something, I went into earning a big paycheck with not understanding how to budget it and plan with it, or um, save it, grow it. No one taught me those skills. So, like I said, high earning does not automatically equal high stability. We were trying to create stability for the long term and not just paycheck to paycheck. We live in constant overstimulation, rapid decision making, emotional overload, and inconsistent sleep. Especially us night shifters. I've been working night shift for 20 years on and off, and so I can totally relate that dysregulation leads to dysregulated finances. I have been guilty of impulse buying, emotional spending, avoidance, shutdown, and money chaos. But I realize now that regulation is wealth protection. So, in the middle of the night when you're stressed, or you get off work and you just go on Amazon and you just start throwing stuff in your shopping cart and you don't even remember what you bought, and then things are showing up at your door and like, what was that I ordered a couple weeks ago or a couple days ago? I don't remember. The retail therapy, the DoorDash, where you try to keep, because you feel like you deserve it. Oh, I work so hard and I'm tired and I don't have time and I want to sleep. um where you just shut down for a couple days, and it's easier to just spend the money to save your time. And I get it. I've been there and I'm guilty of it. So um this is what we're going to work on. And when you're dysregulated, every decision comes from survival mode. And so, when you're constantly in this hustle mentality, hustle culture where, work more, spend more, play more, and it is not sustainable. When you're regulated, decisions become strategic. Strategic decisions create sustainable wealth, and sustainable wealth requires an identity shift. This is the transformation you're stepping into. So, reminding ourselves daily that, I don't need those extra little things. That is not what's going to give me um, regulation. That is not going to help my situation. Those little things that seem like impulse buys, and they seem so cheap, but they add up. And over time, this is where all the money starts funneling out, and you think, where did all my money go? Why am I living paycheck to paycheck? Well, let's work on that. So these are the most common patterns I see in high earning nurses and healthcare workers. The relief spending, like we talked about, after a horrible shift, going out and binging on whatever it is, food, necessity, things, not necessities, but things that you feel like you deserve. And I think there's a a place for budgeting for self-care, but also overdoing it can end up costing you in the long run, where your finances are suffering because you're treating yourself. Relief spending after horrible shifts, compensating for stress with purchases, disorganized money systems, avoidance and shutdowns, identity swings. I deserve this. And then you swing back to, why did I do that? And regretting what you spent the money on. So, awareness is step one. There's no shame, only clarity. And we're gonna, it's normal. This is something we've all done, we've all dealt with. And I feel your pain. I am working through this. Wow, you are too. Like, these are things, these are patterns that I developed over my 20-year nursing career, and I am working on improving those poor coping mechanisms, that I am trying to develop new and improve coping skills. And that's what I want to share with you. So, emotional spending awareness. I want you to start asking yourself, what emotion was present before this purchase? Were you stressed? Were you sad? Were you angry? Were you emotional? So, where was that coming from, that you felt like you needed to purchase that thing, whatever it was, that you look back and you say, why did I even buy that? Was this regulation or escape? And what did I actually need? Was it sleep? Was it, just decompression, regulation, um, some peace, some self care? So, reflection on those impulse buys that, you know, show up and you think, well, I don't even know why I bought that thing. Or why did, what was the point of that? So anchor, your regulation, try to regulate before choosing, and give it a day, give it a night, give it 12 hours, whatever it is, before you click that button to purchase. I recommend giving it some time before you are just buying all those things that are in those carts that look so tempting, and we're all guilty of it. So, wealth safety foundations, you're going to start building your wealth safety system, your money map, where your income really goes, financial stabilizers, buffers, auto pay, simplification, spending scripts, intentional pause statements. So, things that you're going to tell yourself before you actually spend the money, and identity anchors, reminders of who you're becoming. You're going to continue to tell yourself, I'm better with money, and I'm becoming someone who's structured and disciplined with my finances. So, this structure will hold your wealth and support your next level. It will not feel overwhelming. Step by step, little by little, you'll get there. I know it seems like a lot at first, because it's easy to fall back into those unhealthy patterns, but we are going to work on step by step how to simplify and budget and create safe systems that we can all benefit from, me included. Daily regulation routine, you'll use a 60-second reset every day. You're going to breathe, ground, hydrate, and reset your intention every day. This is important. This is single daily ritual will change your emotional and financial life. And it has already been improving mine. And that's why I feel called to share this, because if it's benefited me, and I've been stressed in my career as a healthcare professional, and my finances also participated in my stress, but that part of that was my emotional spending. I want to share the tips and tricks that help me end those cycles of poor, decision making and not having really good coping mechanisms, and spending was my coping skill and not a healthy one. So, how to use this classroom for maximum results? This program is designed to eliminate the overwhelm. Follow the weekly ritual, the implementation calendar, and use community accountability. We're going to be accountable to each other. We're going to celebrate our wins. We're going to talk about our struggles. And this isn't about perfection, it's about honest participation. So, holding each other accountable and just being, there's no, I don't want anyone to be on here feeling guilty. We are all in our growth stage, personal growth and development, and that is what we're here to do. So we're going to support each other, and we're going to work through it together. So, wealth baseline assessment, this is your starting point. No judgment, only clarity. You took the first step by showing up. We're all here. This was hard enough for me to get on YouTube and the school app and create a module where I talk about my emotional spending and my poor coping skills. It took a lot for me to get to this point where I feel like I was called to help others that may be struggling the same way I am, the way I have. And, not, it affected me, not just my finances, but my depression and stress and anxiety impacted my financial life greatly. And so, if we can work on the emotional and mental and physical well being, we can start to fix those financial buffers that we always fall back on. Like, I'm just going to spend because it gives you that, quick boost of, um, feel good, and then you have the regret later, like, why did I spend the money on that? So we're going to work through that together, and this is the starting point. The baseline assessment will help us identify your patterns and create your personalized transformation. Don't skip this piece. It is uploaded in the school community, and I can message me if you don't have the link. I can email it to you or message to you. It's just a PDF, something to, like, a starting point to get started on your budgeting and get your kind of financial well-being to start. And the school community is where I recommend you go for the support. We'll have a message board where we can discuss things and share and have community discussions. We will have people come on the community who specialize in certain areas for financial health and wellness. Specialties that can give us clarity and motivate, and it will just be a forum for everyone to participate so we all feel connected. So the weekly ritual, I highly recommend, and this has changed my life. In the last year, I have been doing this every day. And the only days that I don't do, I have to take that back because I work night shifts still, a couple nights a month. And so when I work the night shifts, I don't do this first thing in the morning, but I will do it when I wake up for in the afternoon when I'm waking up for my day. So that each week kind of has a rhythm. Monday is identity intention. Your midweek is regulation check in. Weekend is wealth checkpoint. And then daily, we do a 60-second recheck and reset. And, I recommend like a 10-minute decompression, regulation, and intention setting, whether it's journaling, meditation, deep breathing, or all of the above. I really feel like those have helped me um, with my negative self-talk, get organized for the day, waking up early before my days and giving myself that time to see where my finances are, to think ahead for what I need to do for the day, so I'm not waking up rushed, jumping into the day and not having a structure. This has really in the last year, and people have told me this for many years, and I'm a sleeper. I love sleeping in. But I'll tell you, the last year has been the most transformative for me, waking up early and having that time. And I look forward to it. Now my alarm goes off and I think, oh, the kids are asleep and I have my alone time and I can be here in my safe space and get organized. And this has really helped me in my personal journey. And I highly recommend it for you, being consistent and getting on like a regular schedule pattern. It seems like little minor things, but these little small steps daily are going to make big transformational changes. And I guarantee you'll see, uh, give yourself 90 days, a year, you're going to be a different person. So the implementation calendar is where we move through the four stages. So week one is awareness. We are putting everything down on paper and being aware this is not only for finances, this is where we are mentally, physically, where we want to be, what we see ourselves, what's your potential that you feel like you can um, get to the ideal self, like where you see yourself becoming after, a year, 90 days, 6 months, a year of being consistent in these little small changes. And then week two is stabilization, and that's like setting the pattern and getting consistent with your small changes. There's going to be some fallback, there's going to be some regression, but we are working towards being stable and disciplined. And then week three is the more of the money clarity, where you're going to get really in depth with um, your finances and where you're at, what you owe, what your big plan is to get that under control. And then week four is identity activation, and that is really focusing on who you are becoming, positive self talk, and we will work through, tying it all together, because we're building a regulated, wealthy version of you, just step by step. And it's not major transformation right away. It's going to be small steps. And this is what worked for me. It was not a overnight transformation. It wasn't from one day to the next. This has been over a year of me working through self-help books, therapy, friends. I was on antidepressants. I wanted to get off antidepressants. I am trying to stabilize, my finances and become more disciplined in my home life and with my family, so that I have more to give and more to save and more to create the long-term legacy that I really want to have for my family. And so the next steps is complete your baseline worksheet, which I will provide to you. Um, Join the community. It's Vital Wealth and Health Community on the school app. That's SKOOL. Introduce yourself when you get in there. It's a free community, and we're going to support each other through all these steps and transitions. And start week one today. What is holding you back? What is, a week from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, it's costing you more money to not start. Every day you wait is costing you more money. And when you think about who you could be and what you could accomplish and what you could save and work towards by becoming more disciplined in your finances and in your emotional and physical health, it's more expensive to not start. The every day that you're not starting is more expensive in the long run. So start week one today and then ask questions inside the classroom because you're not in this alone. We're all in it together. I'm here for you. I am going through this with you. I have started my budgeting and my finance, and I have been the last 2 years really interested in um, long-term wealth, retaining wealth, building wealth, and you know side businesses, how to save on taxes, as well as life insurance, whole life insurance versus term life insurance, so that we can create a safety net, building a trust for our families, setting up, your will. And we all know legally a will is not enough. Like, you actually have to have everything set and protected for your children. So, building the trust and, just having everything set so that later on down the line, I have something that I'm leaving for my children that will benefit them in the long run, and hopefully leave something better than my parents did the best they could, and not to down whatever they what they worked towards, but I'm trying to have better spending and saving skills and coping skills. um, so that I'm not repeating their patterns. And so I thank you for being here, and I hope to see you in the community. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Thank you.